The year was 1823. Under a hot sun, whispers of suffering and resistance echoed across the cotton fields of the American South. Enslaved men and women toiled under the cruel lash, their dreams of freedom trapped within a world that refused to see their humanity. But on this day, something impossible happened. A celestial light split the heavens, casting an eerie glow upon the land. A great vessel, unlike anything seen before, descended in silence. From within emerged beings of regal stature, tall, radiant, with dark skin that shimmered like polished gold. They called themselves the Ngai, the last remnants of an ancient interstellar empire. They had been watching, waiting for the right moment to reclaim their lost kin. With the force of their will and the brilliance of their technology, they dismantled the chains of oppression, gathering thousands aboard their great ships. The overseers and slave masters could do nothing but watch in horror as the stolen children of Africa ascended into the stars, vanishing from Earth forever. On the distant world of Zamafrica, the freed men and women thrived. Their minds expanded beyond imagination, guided by the wisdom of the Ngai. In mere decades, they mastered sciences that took other civilizations millennia to discover. They built cities that defied gravity, powered by twin suns that harnessed in crystalline form. They became something greater than they had ever dreamed. Zamafrica was unlike anything the freed men and women had ever imagined. Twin suns bathed the land in golden light, and great crystal cities stretched into the sky, their surfaces shifting colors like liquid glass. Rivers of energy flowed beneath the streets, powering entire cities without pollution or waste. Lush gardens bloomed with alien flora, their fruits nourishing the body beyond what earthly food ever could. The Ngai did not just give them a home, they gave them knowledge. The rescued men and women, now called the Ascended, were no longer bound by oppression, no longer taught to see themselves as lesser. Their minds, once starved of opportunity, absorbed everything like parched earth drinking rain. Neural expansion technology, devices that unlock the full potential of the brain, allowing them to learn languages in minutes, solve complex equations in seconds, and even communicate telepathically. Zero-point energy, an unlimited power source drawn from the very fabric of the universe, fueling their cities, vehicles, and weapons. Organic engineering, cities that were alive, structures that grew and adapted like plants, forming homes, ships, and even armor that responded to their wearers. On Zamora, art was alive, literally. Instead of static paintings or sculptures, Zamoran artists created living canvases, bioengineered organisms that changed colors, shapes, and sounds depending on the viewer's emotions. Murals moved, adapting scenes based on the collective feelings of those nearby. One famous style was called soul weaving, where artists wove light, sound, and scent into intricate 3D experience, immersing audiences in whole emotional journeys. Amari Soleil was born on Zamora under the alignment of the twin suns and the moons of Echo, a rare event believed to bless individuals with extraordinary gifts. From a young age, Amari could hear colors and see sounds, an ability the Zamorans called synesthetic resonance. By adulthood, Amari became the most renowned soul weaver on the planet, an artist whose works didn't just entertain but transformed audiences. Her performances could take thousands of people on emotional journeys that left them weeping, laughing, or achieving personal revelations. She created living tapestries, massive floating organisms stitched from light and sound, constantly shifting based on the crowd's emotional energy. She composed memory songs, musical pieces that could trigger lost memories and ancestral visions, linking Zamorans more deeply to the earthly past. Her most famous masterpiece was The Echo of the Exodus, a performance artwork that told the story of the slaves who had been freed and carried to Zamora from the sorrow of bondage to the triumph of cosmic freedom. Her appearance. Amari was striking, deep mahogany skin that shimmered faintly under Zamoran light, hair woven with living bioluminescent vines that glowed with her moods. She wore flowing robes of starweave, a fabric that rippled like water, embedded with microorganisms that responded to music and touch. Her eyes, had a soft gold hue that would change their color, rumored to see beyond normal space. Nyakato was born in the mountainous resonance valleys of eastern Zamora, a region where natural crystal formations amplified and distorted sound. It's said that Naya's first cry as an infant caused the valley walls to sing back to her. Tone shapers are artists who shape sound the way a sculptor shapes stone, but Naya took it further. She could weave vibrations so finely that her songs could influence emotions, heal wounds, even stabilize unstable energy fields. She was not just an entertainer, she was a healer, a diplomat, and at times a weapon. Her voice could stop wars or start revolutions. Her art, sound, weaving, Nia could layer tones to create invisible structures in the air, bridges of sound, invisible cages, sanctuaries of peace, emotional resonance. When she sang, you didn't just hear the music, you lived it. Her tones could unlock trapped grief, inspire wild courage, or bring overwhelming serenity. Dimensional tuning. In rare moments, Nia's voice could thin the veil between dimensions, an ancient, forbidden art called lament echoing. She rarely used this, but when she did, witnesses swore they could see the ancestors walking among them. Dances and spirit leads. 1. Eshunka, the city of light and memory built entirely from living crystal, its towers hum with energy. Walls and walkways shift color and texture based on the emotions of the people. Memory pools scattered throughout the city let citizens revisit ancestral memories by dipping their hands into glowing blue water. Elders sit beneath giant sun-drenched domes, meditating, communing with past and future at once. Vibe, Nubian aesthetic and cosmic tech. Towering crystal pillars infused with ancient magic support the city's foundation. These pillars are covered in intricate runes that shimmer with a soft, ethereal light. A protective energy shield generated by the crystal pillars encases the city. This shield filters the air, regulates the climate, and safeguards the inhabitants. Nestled in the verdant basin of Lumai, Zohari lies between rivers of bioluminescent water and hills that hum with soft vibrations. The natural energy of the planet flows directly beneath it. Architecture, grown, not built. The structures of Zohari are living beings, massive trees, vines, and biosculpted plants woven together through ancient genetic artistry. Buildings bloom in the spring and shed luminous petals in the fall, which citizens collect for ritual offerings. Doors open like flowers. Windows are formed of transparent organic film that breathes and self-cleans. The city core is a glowing vine spire known as the heartroot, pulsing with ancestral energy and memory. Nakaza is a great ancient city built atop a colossal rock that floats freely through the starways. It is a living monument to the ancestors, a place of celebration, wisdom, and cosmic power. This floating world is a beacon to those in the universe who still remember where they came from. The rock itself. The base is a massive slab of black stone carved with golden etchings of ancient African glyphs, tribal sigils, and celestial maps. Giant roots and vines wrap around its underside, reaching out like tendrils into space, drawing energy from nearby cosmic fields. A river of stardust flows off one edge of the rock, cascading into the void like a never-ending waterfall of light. City design, circular layout. At the center is the Great Drum Plaza, where a drum the size of a small mountain pulses with energy every cycle of the twin moons. Homes and halls are mud brick and polished stone painted with bright ochres, reds, blues, and greens, each adorned with beaded banners and woven tapestries that tell the story of their ancestors. Floating gardens hang on the edges of the city, full of alien fruit trees, medicinal plants, and sacred flowers from 100 worlds. Marketplaces bustle with traders who wear colorful robes woven with nanofibers, selling crystals, spices, and artifacts charged with ancestral energies. But it wasn't just technology that flourished, it was culture. On Zamora, They built a society free from the scars of slavery. They preserved the lost languages, songs, and traditions stolen from them on Earth. They developed new forms of art, music, and storytelling that blended their African heritage with the wonders of the cosmos. A great council was formed, led by visionaries, warriors, and scholars, each chosen not by birthright, but by wisdom and courage. High Commander Amari Katal, the warlord of the returning sun. Amari was a direct descendant of those rescued from Earth, raised in the warrior academies of Zamora. Towering and powerful, with skin like polished obsidian and golden tribal markings that pulsed with energy, she became the greatest military mind of her time. She wielded the spear forged from a fragment of a collapsed star, capable of cutting through any material known to man. With her command over gravity-based combat tactics, she trained an elite force known as the Celestial Guard, warriors who could manipulate their mass, allowing them to move at blinding speeds or strike with the force of a meteor. Her mission: to break Earth's ruling class and dismantle every oppressive system by force. Chancellor Nia Omari, the diplomat of Fire and Ice Nia, believed in a different kind of warfare, one of infiltration, psychology, and political subterfuge. With her ability to interface directly with digital networks, she could collapse entire economies with a single thought, disrupt military communications, and expose hidden truths to the masses. She created the Echo Protocol, a system that embedded ascended spies into Earth decades before their return. These spies lived among humans, whispering ideas of revolution, spreading knowledge of the true history that had been erased, and preparing the world for the inevitable shift in power. A mission: to weaken Earth from within before the first ship even touched the ground. Elder Jabari Ngolo, the keeper of the ancestral flame. Jabari was the bridge between the old and the new. A philosopher and spiritual leader, he preserved the wisdom of those who had suffered on Earth, ensuring their struggles were never forgotten. He wore the crown of the first kings, a neural interface that allowed him to access the memories of the enslaved ancestors, speaking their words, feeling their pain, and channeling their resilience. Kai Zuberi, the Shadow Walker. No one knew where Kai had been born or how he had come to possess his abilities. Some whispered that he had discovered the secret to quantum phasing, allowing him to exist between dimensions, unseen and unstoppable. Others believed he was something more, perhaps even a god. Kai moved like a ghost, slipping through time and space, appearing only when needed. It was he who assassinated Earth's most powerful tyrants before the invasion. It was he who delivered Earth's greatest warlords a single message: surrender or be erased. His mission: to ensure that resistance never had a chance to begin. The return begins. With these leaders at the helm, the Ascended began their descent to Earth. Their ships, vast and gleaming like celestial obelisks, darkened the skies. Their weapons did not fire first, but their presence alone sent the world into chaos. The message was clear: the time of your rule is over. The forgotten have returned. The invasion of Earth, Day 1. The sky went dark. It began with silence. Across the world, power grids failed in an instant. Satellites blinked out of existence. Nuclear launch codes, military defenses, and global communication systems. Every piece of technology humanity relied on was wiped clean. The night sky, once speckled with stars, now burned with the descending fleet of the Ascended. The first ship entered Earth's atmosphere over the Atlantic, a city-sized vessel shimmering like black glass. Its hull pulsed with energy as it hovered just above the ocean's surface. Then, as if the universe itself had taken a breath, the world stood still. And then they came. From the ships, warriors clad in shifting organic armor rained down like falling stars. Some moved faster than the human eye could track, their bodies enhanced by gravity manipulation. Others walked untouched through gunfire, their armor absorbing bullets like mist. It was not a war, it was a reckoning. Governments collapsed overnight. The Ascended had already infiltrated key positions. Political leaders who had secretly been working for them activated the next phase of their plan. The most powerful nations on Earth suddenly found themselves leaderless, their generals and rulers captured. High Commander Amari Katal led the charge on Washington, D.C. The White House and Pentagon were emptied before dawn. When resistance forces tried to retaliate, Amari activated the Olorun wave, a controlled gravitational pulse that disabled all weapons within a 100-mile radius. In Europe, Chancellor Nia Omari didn't need war. She unleashed the Echo Protocol, a global data drop revealing centuries of hidden atrocities, corruption, and secret deals that shattered the trust between governments and their people. The world's wealthiest elites were exposed, their stolen riches erased in an instant. Across Africa, Jabari and Golo stood atop Mount Kilimanjaro, broadcasting a single message: the time of oppression is over, the earth will be reborn. And the people listened. Day 10. The resistance rises. Not all humans surrendered. There were those who fought, clinging to the old world with desperate violence. Rogue military factions, billionaires who had hoarded secret armies, and religious zealots who saw the Ascended as demons. But they were outmatched. Kai Zubiri struck from the shadows, eliminating key resistance leaders before they could rally. The Celestial Guard dismantled entire armies without a single casualty. Still, the Ascended did not seek genocide. Those who surrendered were given a choice: join the new order and rebuild, or be exiled to the wastelands left behind by humanity's greed. The war was over before it truly began. Day 30. The dawn of a new Earth. With the old world in ruins, the Ascended began reconstruction. Cities were rebuilt, not as centers of power and greed, but as thriving hubs of knowledge and equality. The environment, long poisoned by humanity's arrogance, was healed with Zamoran technology. For the first time in history, there were no borders, no rulers, no masters. Jabari Nagolo stood before the United Nations, now just a hollow shell of the past, and declared, "This is not a conquest, this is a return, and we will not leave again." The forgotten had come home, and Earth would never be the same. Year 100, the last day of the gods. The Ascended had ruled as guides, not kings. They had rebuilt Earth, freed humanity from war and suffering, and opened the doors to knowledge beyond imagination. But they knew one truth above all else: no civilization could truly evolve while being led by another. And so, the decision was made. On the dawning of the centenary, a council of elders, both Ascended and human, gathered in the Celestial Forum, a great floating city above the ruins of the old world. Elder Jabari Ngolo stood before the people of Earth and spoke the word that would change history. Our time here is over. You are no longer our students. You are our equals. And now you must choose your own destiny. One by one, the Ascended left. Their ships, monuments to a civilization of gods, ascended beyond the skies, vanishing into the cosmic horizon. For the first time in a century, Earth belonged to humans once more. But now, there was something more. The Great Exodus. With the knowledge the Ascended left behind, humanity took its first steps into the stars on its own terms. The Solar Initiative, Earth's first independent interstellar fleet, built not for conquest, but for exploration. The colony worlds, Mars, Europa, and distant exoplanets became the first human settlements beyond Earth. The new Renaissance, freed from the burdens of survival, humanity entered an age of unmatched creativity, science, and innovation. And yet, there was one mystery that remained. The Ascended had left no trace, no signs of where they had gone. They had vanished into the void, never to be seen again. Or so it seemed. The call from the void, 1,000 years after the Ascended had left, a signal echoed across the stars. It was ancient yet familiar, a message encoded in a language only a few still remembered. "You have found your way. Now, come find us." The Ascended had not abandoned humanity. They had been waiting. And now, it was humanity's turn to ascend. Written and created by Kent's Black Folk Tales. I really hope you enjoyed it. Yes, I am a new channel. I am so excited. There is so much more to come. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, please. If you really enjoyed my storytelling, this channel is dedicated to purely Black folklore. My artwork is the inspiration for all of the future stories and folklore. You all have a blessed day.